All right, thank you. Can you, Muhammad? Great. So tonight's session will be about students' learning styles, and we are going to cover several aims. Number one, what do we mean by learning styles? Number two, what are the types of learning styles? And number three, what are the features of these styles? And then there is practice, is what tools, what techniques and strategies we can use to cater for the different learning needs. Great. Now, I would like you to start with the situation, and I would like to give you 5 minutes. So you read the situation silently, and then you answer question 1 and 2. So 5 minutes altogether. Okay, so what do you think about Anna's class and the way she taught that lesson? So Ammar, please activate your mic.
Hello, Mr. Hussein. Hello, everyone. Thank you to give me the chance to speak about this. Well, as I think or analyze the text here, all the problem is the students in the classroom and the classroom are not auditories. They are maybe they are visual learners. That's why this is what's wrong. But for the second question, what should be done? Well, it's clear she has to activate another method or theory of teaching, like what we learned in the last session, the TPR, or another method that would be suitable for these students by using exercises, for example, that they enjoy with. This is my point of view. Thank
yeah,
you.
no, very interesting ideas. Thank you for raising the point of that this class is auditory. That's very interesting. Yeah, I agree. Look here, I would like just to shed light on some terms. I would like to highlight this expression. Anne is a teacher, so I used to love listening to songs when I was learning English. But the question, you as a teacher, you love listening to songs and you love using songs, but do your students like listening to songs or not? So I'm not teaching my learning style. I'm a teacher. Yes, I love songs, but sometimes my learners may not love songs. So it's a problem, which means here, Sarah was satisfying her needs because when she was a student, she liked or she used to like songs. But now she's teaching other students. Yes, Abdul Ghani, activate your mic.
Yeah, sorry, I was raising my hand before, but anyway, I can repeat. Like it looks like, as you said, Anne is in trouble or maybe isn't happy with the old version style she was using before. Like she was satisfying those kind of students before, but when she deals with new students, it looks like she's not happy and she's seeking advice what to do. And I think she has to try, as you said before, she has to try different learning styles, which maybe it looks like maybe I don't know, looks like different learning styles. We cannot talk about it.
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Now, as a teacher, you may have an issue, which is your learning style overcome the student's learning style? I explain. When I'm teaching, I don't have to teach the way I prefer. For example, I like songs, so when I'm teaching, I'm going to use songs. No, I'm teaching to satisfy my learners' needs. I like watching films. I like pictures. I like music. But I have to use the things that students like, that students prefer. If they don't like music, I should not use it, even though I like music. So the problem with Anne, she used her style in teaching, and she forgets that her job is to satisfy the learners' learning styles. And I agree with Abdelghani and Ammar that this class may not like, or this class, the majority are not auditory. They don't like listening to music. Now, what should be done? You as future teachers, so you are going to teach students, and please don't tell others that you teach first grade, or you teach second grade, or you teach third grade, or you teach second back. No, we teach individuals. We teach learners. We teach 17 students, 20 students, which means they have different learning styles, which means they have different learning styles, different abilities, different behaviors, different preferences, different attitudes. And your job is the second question. Your job is to vary. And I love this expression. Variety is the spice of life. I'm gonna write it in the chat box. Variety is the spice of life. Let me write it. Is the spice of life. We are different. Okay. Great. So let's see here, 1 second. Here, Anne should learn that all students have different learning styles. All Students are different. They learn differently. I can learn better if my teacher uses pictures. But Hajar can learn better if the teacher uses song. Samad can learn better if the teacher uses some puzzles, logic. Ammar, for example, can learn better if the teacher uses lectures or, sorry, discussions, debates, because he likes to talk. So different learners, different learning styles. Okay, so this affects the way they behave in the classroom and their response to different materials and activities. And here in literature, you may find some different types. Here we have fluency folks, accuracy folks, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. These are some types, but we are going to talk about these in details, okay? So fluency, communication, they like to talk. So what activities you should give them? Debates, discussions, conversations, dialogues, agree, disagree. They love and they learn better. Now, accuracy, folks, likes to be sure that they are getting things right. I give an example. They would like to write things with no mistakes, no punctuation mistakes, no spelling mistakes, nothing, okay. Visual, they learn better if they see. They see what? Pictures, diagrams, tables, videos, and when you draw on the board. Auditory, like lectures, music, sounds, etc. And kinesthetic, they learn by doing. They can move. So you have to use your body language. Look, now I am swimming. Now I am flying. Now I am drinking. So repeat. Flying, repeat, swimming, repeat, drinking. We call it learning by doing. Learning by doing. So kinesthetic, okay. Clear so far? Yes, please. Perfect. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, what do we mean by learning styles? Another volunteer, please, can you read the definition? What do we mean by learning styles? Raise your hand, please. Okay, Samad, activate your mic.
Yes, learning styles are the ways in which a learner naturally prefers to take in, processing, and remembers information and skills. Our learning style influences how we like to learn and how we learn best.
Perfect. So the keywords here for me is this one. The ways in which a learner naturally prefers. Every learner has got his own way of learning, either by listening or watching or speaking or via movement, etc. Another keyword is learning style influences how we like to learn, which means if the teacher uses only the black or the white board for the whole session, some learners may find it very boring because they need to listen to music, they need to move, they need to watch a movie, different ways. That's why your job as a teacher is to vary. Okay. Clear so far? Is it clear? Great. So let's move on to the next slide. By the way, here in Rabat, it's raining cats and dogs. So from time to time, the internet cuts off. But alhamdulillah, it's rain. No problem if there is the issues in connections. The most important is rain. Do you agree? All right. And it's very nice to teach and to hear the sound of the rain. So let me clean this one and move on to the next slide. Look here. Let's count how many styles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 styles, but sometimes there are more. Which means you are not teaching first grade. You are not teaching 10th grade, but you are teaching individuals. Visual individual, verbal individual, analytic individual, etc. Solo individual, group individual. So different learning styles. Now, can you write in the chat box, what do we mean by visual in the chat box? Yes, please. I'm gonna read. Visual learner. Can you write quickly? Using visual aids. Thank you, Abd Samad. Nassim, the learner who learns through picture. Wonderful, Abdul Ghani. Prefer using pictures, images. Great. Muhammad, students prefer to learn by pictures, using picture. Ammar, accept learning by looking at images. Wonderful. Miriam, learn through seeing. Perfect. Wonderful, I agree. So visual learner is a student. Yeah, sorry, Tawfiq said learning by seeing, yeah. So visual learner is a student who prefers to learn by seeing or to learn better if he or she sees things. Great. Verbal is two, a learner who prefers to learn by writing and speaking. So writing and speaking. Thank you, Abdul Ghani, by words. Okay, the words can be spoken or written. Analytic, using, analyzing, reflecting. Good. And then there is the opposite of between individual and group. So what's the difference between individual and group? Can someone explain? Use the mic.
Yes, individual learners, people who love to learn by themselves, like being alone without being or without having or taking chances to collaborate with other people. And other people love to be gathered with other people to learn more.
Wonderful. So individual learners, they like to learn alone. They like to have calm places. They don't like to have noise. They want to work alone in calm places. The opposite is group or social learner, which means they like to work in groups. They like to share, which means when you give students tasks, you vary your mode of work. I'm going to write it here. You vary your mode of work. So for this, the mode of work, let me write it here. We call it mode of work. Mode of work. The mode of work with individual is, we call it solo work. Solo work. You can ask them to work alone. 5 minutes, work alone. But you are not teaching only individual learners. You are teaching group learners. So after that, the second activity, you can put them in pairs. So pair work or group work. You see now, you are going to satisfy two different learners. Activity number 1, you work alone. Activity number 2, you work in groups, etc. Clear? Great. Now, what about autonomous?
Yes, if I might say something.
Yes.
Autonomous learners are those category who are like they like to learn independently. They like to search for the information by themselves. No need for help from the extra world. They like to do it by themselves.
So we can call them independent learners.
Yes.
But I have another question. What's the difference between independent learner and autonomous learner? There's another difference. I would like to challenge you now because you are teachers. So what's the difference between autonomous learner and independent learner? Abdghani said interpersonal and intrapersonal. Okay. Muhammad said students tend to learn by themselves. But here the difference. So let's see here. Autonomous learners depends on themselves. Independent learners depend on themselves as well. But the slight difference between autonomous and independent is self-directed. So autonomous learners are self-directed. This is the only difference. Autonomous learners are self-directed. They know what they do. They know about their goals, and basically they achieve their goals. Independent learners, they depend on themselves, but sometimes they don't have a clear vision. Okay, but autonomous, they are self-oriented, self-directed. Okay. Yes, please. And kinesthetic learners, we can write here, they learn by doing. They learn by doing. They learn when there is movement. Okay. Which means from time to time, you have to use some communicative activities or some movement. Hajar, yes, please activate your mind.
I think kinesthetic students or learners, they comprehend more the course by doing and experiencing. So they like to use their bodies and hands as a learning instruments.
Perfect. Thank you. To the point. Yes, Miriam, activate your mic.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This type of learners, I suppose they learn through moving, doing things, and touching also.
Yes, so movement to draw, perfect, I agree. Nice. Abd Samad.
Yes, this category of learners, they prefer to have action in classroom, to move fast, to move most of the time than sitting in one single place. They like to have action.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree. And for verbal, they like to speak and write. They like to speak and write. Now, kinesthetic learners, basically for kinesthetic learners, you will see that if you teach children, you will observe or you will notice that the dominant learning style that you will have is the kinesthetic. They like to move it. Okay. Now, what about auditory? like to listen. To listen to what? Listen to sounds or music. To sounds or music. And visual, like to see. And to see what? To see pictures, diagrams, etc. Okay. Clear so far? Great. So I'm going to explain. Look here. What's this? What's this? This is a smartphone. This is a smartphone. And here, what learning style I addressed when I use this one? What learning style I addressed? Can you write in the chat box? What learning style? Thank you. Visual. Visual. Okay. Now, I would like you to write one sentence about the purpose of this smartphone. The purpose. I would like you to write one sentence about the purpose of this learning style. So what learning style I addressed now? Thank you, Hajar, Nassim. Verbal, because they are going to write. Okay, going to write. Now, why? Why we use smartphones? Why? What learning style I addressed now? Why? The question why? Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you, San Analytic. Samad, great job, Nassim. Analytic, okay, good. Now, can you move and say, I am calling my friend? Can you stand up and do like me? I am calling my friend. So what learning style I addressed now? Kinesthetic, thank you, thank you. Now, I would like you to work in groups and talk about your favorite communication tools. Is it the smartphone or what else? Work in groups. So it's group learner. Great. Wonderful. So as you see, using the smartphone, I addressed different learning styles. Okay. Why? Because we teach different learners. Clear so far? Wonderful. So let's move on to the next slide. Can someone read the definitions here? Any volunteer, please? Okay, Miriam, activate your mic.
Okay, matching exercise. Visual. The learner learns best when given time to consider choices. Auditory. The learner learns best through using the body. Kinesthetic. The learner learns best through seeing. Group. The learner learns best through hearing. Individual. The learner learns best when able to respond immediately. Reflective. The learner learns best through working with others. Impulsive. The learner learns best through working alone.
Great. Now your job is to match the styles with their definitions. I would like to give you 5 minutes and then we discuss together. All right, so any volunteer? Yes, please. Number one. Samad. Then Maryam, and number 3, Abdul Ghani. Number 4, Nasim. Number 5, Muhammad. Number 6, Sana, and 7, Tawfiq. Yes, please.
Yes, visual goes with the learner learns best through seeing.
Wonderful, thank you. Maryam.
Okay, auditory goes with the learner learns best through hearing.
Thank you. Abdul Ghani.
Kinesthetic, the learners learns best through using the body.
Wonderful. Ammar.
Sorry. Group, the learner learns best through working with others.
Great. Hajar. So Hajar is not here, or there's a problem. Anyway, Muhammad.
Individual. Hello.
Yeah. Continue. Yes.
Individual. The learner learns best through working alone.
Okay. Thank you. Muhammad Rabah. So let's move to Nasim.
I think it's the learner learns best when given time to consider choices.
Yeah, thank you. It's reflective. Great. And impulsive. Sana.
Impulsive, the learner learns best when able to respond immediately.
Great. And if you are teaching children, you will have many students. When you ask them for a question to answer, and they come to you. Okay, they are running. We call them impulsive learners. Okay, wonderful. So these are the answers. Now, you are going to watch a video. It's the same video that you watch for roles of teachers. But now, you have to focus on the learning styles. So what does the teacher do to satisfy the different learning styles? For example, for visual learners, he or she, okay, etc. So let me stop sharing and use the video, and then I'm going to share this slide to take a picture of it. Just 1 second. Thank you. Can you see my screen? Yes, please. Do you see my screen? Yes, no? Perfect. Great. Can you please take a picture, screenshot of this slide? Wonderful. Now, you are going to watch the video and you focus on what does the teacher do to cater for visual learners' needs, auditory learners, kinesthetic learners, group learners, verbal learners. And after you finish, I'm going to put you in groups to compare your answers. Clear so far? Perfect. So let's Let me share the video. 1 second, please. Can you see? Yes or no? Do you see? Perfect. So let's start.
Look at this picture. This is Kamal. 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 Where does he work? Is that a supermarket?
No, it's a stall.
A stall, yes. A stall is a little shop. It's not a big shop like a supermarket. A little shop. A stall. He works in a stall, yes. I'm going to tell you about an ordinary day for Kamal. Every day.
He get up in 5 o'clock.
Sveta?
He get up in 5 o'clock.
Okay,
At
the idea is good. Can you make the sentence better?
He get up at 5 o'clock.
At, good. At 5 o'clock. Okay. This word. Listen. Okay. Bruna?
He gets up at 5 o'clock.
Very good. Listen. He gets up at 5 o'clock. Listen. He gets up at 5 o'clock. Everybody?
He gets up at 5 o'clock.
Very good. Again?
He gets up at 5 o'clock.
Okay. You sound a little bit bored. Try and sound more interested. He gets up at 5 o'clock.
He gets up at 5 o'clock.
Okay?
He gets up at 5
Gets.
up at 5 o'clock. He gets up at
You're saying gates. Listen. Gets up.
Gets up.
Gets up. He gets up.
He gets up at 5 o'clock.
Good. Tell Daniel. Tell Daniel.
Sorry. He gets up at 5 o'clock.
Okay, good, thank you. Tell Bruna.
He gets up at 5 o'clock.
At
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Okay, I hear 5 o'clock. Listen. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Good. Sentence?
He get up. He he get up. He gets up at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
Okay, quickly.
He gets up at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
Good. Okay, very good. Okay.
He takes a coffee. He takes a coffee.
Takes?
Drinks.
Okay.
He drinks a cup of coffee.
Okay. Tell Francesca.
He drinks a cup of coffee.
Francesca?
He drinks a cup of coffee.
Good. Very good. Okay.
He's
goes
bicycling
cycling.
to job.
How does he go to work? How does he go to work?
He
Francesca?
rides your bike.
My bike?
His bike.
Okay, that's possible. You can say he rides his bike. Can you think of one word that has the same meaning?
Cycling.
Okay. It's the right verb, but the wrong form. He...
Cycle.
Sveta?
Cycle. He cycle on walk. He cycles on walk. To work.
Okay, sentence?
He cycles to work.
Good, okay. Bruna, same sentence?
He cycles and walk to work.
Okay,
He cycles to work.
good. Okay,
He
Laza?
cycles to work.
Yes, you're saying to. Listen. To work. To work. He cycles to work. Okay, good. Tell the person next to you. Tell the person next to you. Okay, go back to the beginning. Can you remember the first sentence about Kamal? I write his name. There's his name, Kamal. Can you remember the first sentence?
Kamal gets up.
No, before that we had another
Kamal
sentence.
works in
Okay, so remember that sentence, then this, then this, then this. Tell the person next to you all the sentences.
Kamal works in school. He gets up at 5 o'clock.
That's nice.